All right. Good afternoon. My name is Derrick. I am a consultant and trainer here at Calix, and I'm going to be walking through our Zenly orientation this afternoon. So, what is Zenly? Zenly is our cloud-based mortgage origination platform, currently geared towards brokers that want to take in an application, run credit, desktop originator, loan product advisor, and then send that file over to a lender. Zenly can be used on any computer that has a web browser or internet connection, so that's going to include your Macs, tablets, iOS, Androids, so forth and so on. Also, because Zenly is cloud-based, any updates or enhancements that come to Zenly will come automatic. Nothing you have to download or reinstall. When you log into your Zenly site, you'll be able to see those new features and enhancements. All right, so what we're currently looking at on the screen is the login screen to our Zenly admin site. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And when you log into your Zenly admin site, the first thing that you're going to be presented with is your home screen. Okay, so your home screen is showing you a lot right now, but the main thing that your home screen is showing you is a pipeline of all of your lead and your loan files. You're able to tell the difference between your lead files. Your lead files are going to be the blue font with the Wi-Fi symbol. Your loan files are going to be the green font with the money symbol. Okay, so the first thing that we can do with our pipeline is we do have a select button down here at the bottom. If I click on select, this allows me to select the different files that I want to either delete or archive. So let's say, for example, I want to, oops, let me wait for that to finish spinning and go back here. Let's see, for example, I want to archive Maisha Johnson's loan file. Okay, I can select her file, click archive, hit OK, and that's going to be removed from my main pipeline and moved over to the archive side, which I'll show you where that's at in just a moment. Okay, so with the select button down here, you're able to delete or archive your lead or your loan files. Okay, now if we come up just a little bit, we have this filter icon. This will determine what files you're seeing on your pipeline. So if you only want to see your loan files, we can click loans. So this should only show the green money symbol and green text. We do the leads. We should see our blue text with the blue Wi-Fi symbol for our leads. And if we move over to our archive section, these are all of the lead and or loan files that are currently archived. So on this screen, our archive screen, if we click on the select button down here at the bottom, we're able to select the different lead or loan files that we either want to delete or activate. And activate will put them back onto the main pipeline. Okay, so that's how you're able to archive, find your archives, unarchives, and filter what you're seeing on your pipeline. Okay, so now we're back to our home screen. Now, if we come up here to the top, we have a new file drop down. So if I click on this, this is where you're able to create a brand new lead, and we'll tell you what leads are a little later on in the session. And then you also to create a brand new loan. If I click on new loan, however, there is another option in here. So you can create a blank loan file, but this is also where you are able to batch import in Fannie Mae 3.2 or Fannie Mae 3.4 MISMO files into Zenly. So if you currently have Point and you have files that you want to batch import into Zenly, you can do that. If you get your 3.4 files from a third party, you're able to batch import those files in into Zenly. Okay. Now, right above that, we have our user profile icon. Okay. So when I click on that, this name is going to be the current account holder that we're logged in as. So we're logged in as myself, Derrick. So this is my user profile. If I click on my user profile, this is going to bring me to my user profile section in my screens. So here we'll see my contact information. If your admin has entered the contact information for you when they added you to the website, then this information will already be filled out. We did make some changes here as far as how you're notified for password resets. So by default, you're going to be emailed a code to reset your password. If you want to be text instead, you'll be opting into texting by clicking the checkbox here, and then of course putting a mobile cell phone number there. Okay, that way you can receive those password resets via text. Now, still under the user profile, we have the servicer settings. Okay, this is where the individual level credentials for your LOs for credit and Fannie Mae would be entered. Okay, you're going to notice across Zenly there's these plus add signs on all the screens. That's how you populate the different sections. So if I click on this plus add sign, in this dialog box, the first drop down will have credit reports. The second drop down is going to list all of the credit agencies. Okay, so they'll select their credit agency and then over on the right hand side put in their individual level credentials. Same thing for Fannie Mae. If we switch this to Fannie Mae, this now changes to desktop originator, and then your LOs will be entering their individual level credentials here. Okay. Once those credentials are saved on this screen, these will override the company level credentials that the admin has entered. And I'll show you where those are entered shortly. Okay. Still under the user profile, we have the alert configurations. Now, the alert configurations ties into the bell icon with the number 12 in here. Okay. So these are the Zenly alerts inside of the system. This is currently, the number 12 is representative of all of the alerts that are currently in all of my lead and loan files together. Okay. If you want to see the particular alerts for a particular lead or loan file, you can go inside of that lead or loan file and see the alerts for that particular loan file. Okay. So if I click on my alert bell, this shows me my alerts. You can click the select button down here as well to select the alerts that you want to clear out of your alert list or mark as unread. Okay. When they're not open or they haven't been read yet, they'll have a light blue background that'll let you know they've been not read. And then you can also open up your task by clicking on them and, of course, seeing what the task is, who's assigned to, if there was a due date or a time for the task. Okay. Now, there are two types of alerts that we do have inside of Zenly. We have system-generated alerts and manually created alerts. Our system-generated alerts are going to be these. So one of the alert configurations still under the user profile, these would be system-generated alerts. Documents received. This means you requested documents and the borrower uploaded them. E-signed, you sent out a disclosure and the borrower e-signed. You've been assigned to a loan file, or when an interview complete, or when a borrower submits an application. Okay, those are the system-generated alerts. As the LO, they're able to toggle off the alerts that they don't want to get. So if they don't want any of the Zenly alerts, they can turn those off. If they don't want any of the email alerts, they can turn all those off, all of them except one, meaning that you will always get an email when a borrower submits an application. So there's no way to turn that email notification off. Okay, but these are the email notifications and the Zenly alerts that your LOs can get if those are toggled on. Okay. All right, so that's going to be the user profile as far as the name. If we click back on our user profile icon, the interview configuration, this site is where the online application is set up. So this is where you are able to set up your company main website for your borrowers to come and apply for that online application. You can also set up individual LO landing pages where your borrowers can apply directly with an LO. So this is where the online application is set up. The landing pages are set up, and those applications, of course, will import back into Zenly. Okay. Now going back to the user profile icon, of course, you can sign out of Zenly down here at the bottom, but the help icon, if you click help on any screen that you are on in Zenly, for example, we were under the alerts configuration section screen in Zenly, and I clicked on help, that automatically took me to the KB article regarding that particular screen. Okay, but our Zenly Help Center has everything Zenly related into it. So, for instance, you can search topics. If you want to know anything about the templates that Zenly contains, you can come over here and type templates, do a search. It lets you know we have a fee template and a loan program template. If I click on fee template, it's going to tell you how to get to the fee template, how to set up the fee template, picture steps X, Y, Z of how to do 1, 2, 3. So definitely utilize it in the Help Center. Probably a lot quicker than calling into the support line. Okay, very great tool. All right, so that's going to be the items listed under the user profile. Okay, now I did say there were two different types of alerts. We have the system generated alerts, which we talked about, and then we have manually created alerts. And I'll show you where those can be created later on in a loan or a lead file. Okay. So to get back to the home screen, you can click on the leads and loans tab up here, and this brings you back to your home screen. All right. So now what we're going to do is going to move over here to the templates tab and talk about the setup. Okay. So underneath the templates tab, this is where all of the company level defaults forms will be set up, and templates. Okay. So starting with our company information, of course. All right, so this is where you would indicate if you're working in the system as a broker. You're going to go ahead and put in your company information and the state or states that you're licensed to work in. So keep in mind the plus add signs are what populates the areas. So if I click on this, we can select the states. Okay, save and close, save and new. You're going to see this on every pop-up box. Save and close means that I only want to add Arkansas and I'm done. Save and new means I want to add Arkansas and I want to continue adding additional states like Arizona. Okay, and I can do a save and close when I'm done. Those states have been added. Okay, we do have a processing center. If you are using third-party processors in a different location, this is where their information would be entered. Okay. Now, still under the templates tab, and again, this is the setup for the company. We have our servicer settings tab under here. Okay, so this is where the credentials for credit, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac are going to be entered for the company level credentials. So it works in the same way as it did for the individual level. We'll click on this plus add sign, and the only difference is we have an additional service, which is Freddie Mac. So when we select Freddie Mac, our second drop down turns to Loan Product Advisor. And then over here on the right, you're going to be entering in the company level credentials for all of your credit agencies, Fannie Mac and Freddie Mac. Once you have those items saved on this screen, by default, all of your users will be using the company level credentials for credit, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, unless they enter in their individual level credentials for credit and Fannie Mae. Okay. All right, so that's going to be your servicer settings. Now we do have templates inside of Zenly, and one of them is going to be our fee template. So I clicked on our fee templates tab. I've created some templates. Let me go ahead and double click on the Quicken fee template that I created. Okay, so I've named my template up here, and these are the different sections of my fee template, and you can see where I've entered the fee and fee amounts. Okay, to create a fee template, it's very simple. I just click back on our fee templates tab. We're going to click on the plus add sign in the top right hand corner. And of course, this is where you would name your template up here at the top. Okay. And then each section of the fee template works in the same way in regards to populating the feeds. So for section A, origination charges, if I click on the plus add sign, we're going to get this dialog box. First thing I want you to do is to select the fee. So I'm going to add an application fee. I want this fee to be paid to my lender. Okay, and then you have a choice to put a percentage or a dollar amount. And I'm just going to put a random dollar amount just for this example. I'm going to do a save and new because I want to add one more fee. Let's go ahead and enter an appraisal fee, also paid to my lender. And I'll just enter in a random amount here as well. I'm going to do a save and close because that's it. So as you can see my fee name, my fee amount. If I didn't mean to enter in this fee, I can delete it, I can edit it, and I can continue adding fees to the different sections, A all the way down through service providers, borrowers can shop for. Okay. Once you've completed your fee template, you're going to hit save. And once you hit save, that template will be stored or housed here on this screen. And there's two different places inside of a lead and a loan file that you can import a fee template in to a loan file or a lead file. The second template we have is the loan program templates. So I just clicked on our loan program tab. And as you can see, I've created several loan programs. I've got my conventional 15-year fix all the way down to an FHA 30. To create your loan programs, we're going to click on the plus add sign here. You would name your loan program. The max qualifying ratios at this current time, these are for data entry purposes only. They don't flow anywhere inside of the loan program. And then, of course, you're going to start setting up the loan program. Okay, so you're going to start entering your loan information, your rate adjustment information, payment adjustment, and buy down mortgage if that applies. Okay, and then once you've entered all of your data and hit save, your loan program will be stored and housed here. And again, you can import your loan programs inside of a lead and a loan file. Okay, now the third template we have in here is going to be the escrow account setup template. Okay, so this is when you are calculating the aggregate adjustment inside of a loan file. You're able to come over here and default the different taxes or insurances that you have. So say, for example, I had some construction completion funds. I double click on this line item. It's a very simple layout. Let's say your cushion is a 3 and 3. We'll put a 3 for the cushion. And let's say this is paid once a year in September. We're going to put a 12 months in September and do a save and close. Okay. So this comes into effect when the items in section G of your fees worksheet have been escrowed and it's time to calculate that aggregate adjustment. The cushion and the months of disbursement are going to automatically flow into that calculation. Again, all of the templates are defaults. So if you need to make any changes inside of a loan file to a fee, to a cushion, to a months of disbursement, you can still make those changes. Okay. So those are the 3 templates that we have. We also have our document setting tab. Okay, and this is where you're going to be able to default your different forms like your privacy policy. So in this first drop down, I'm going to click application. The second drop down is going to show us the first forms that we can default. First one being that privacy policy. Okay, so you've got your revision date, and you'll fill out the privacy policy form as it applies to the way that you run your business, and that will print out on the actual privacy policy. Then we have our servicing disclosure. Okay, of course, here you're going to click the checkbox or check boxes that apply to the way that you run your business. And then we go back to our first drop down and change application to processing. We're going to see 3 additional forms. We have our consumer choice disclosure for our FHA and conventional loan types. We've got our ECOA fair lending address. Okay. One of the nice things I like about Zenly is if you know who your federal agency is, it will auto-populate the correct address in here for you. That way you don't have to Google and copy and paste that. Okay. And then lastly, we have the fair lending notice. And again, the plus add signs are what's going to populate the form and the screen. So you will click on that plus add sign, add the company's name and information. This will print off on the fair lending notice. Okay, so those are going to be the forms that you can default. One of the last tabs I wanted to show you that we just recently added into the system is the document packages. Some of you might know them as print groups, but you are able to set up document packages or print groups inside of Zenly now. So as you can see, I have created some print groups, one for my FHA disclosure package. I double clicked on that. These are all of the forms that are included in that disclosure package. And inside of a loan file or a lead file, you can request these items to be e-signed or generate the document package with the borrower's information on it. Okay. And of course, to create a document package, you're going to click on that plus add sign. And I'm actually going to show you this generating of forms in a different area inside of a loan file. And it works in the same way. Okay. That is going to be our templates tab. Okay. Again, this is where all the company level defaults are going to be set up. Templates, forms, credentials for all of your credit agencies, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and your company information. Now, still with the setup, we're going to move over to our users tab. Okay, so I'm currently logged into Zenly as an admin. So when I click on the users tab, I will be able to see all of the users that I've added inside of the system. But to add a new user, we're going to click on the new user button up here in the top right-hand corner. Okay, so on this screen, currently we're on the user information tab. You do see a service or settings tab here as well. It's under our users tab. So this is just another place that the LOs can enter in their individual level credentials for credit and Fannie. They do not have to enter them in every place that I'm showing you. Had they entered them in the first place and saved them, they would already be showing on this screen. Okay, so there's just several places that you can enter those individual level credentials. Now for the alert configurations under the users tab, okay, again, this is an admin's view. So you guys have seen this top portion up here because we saw this under the user profile. This is what the LO is able to toggle on and off for their alerts, Zenly alerts or email notifications. This bottom portion here, the admin can give an LO edit access to this bottom portion, which will allow the LO to be able to create new alerts or manually created alerts. They could also be able to assign alerts to other LOs inside of the system. Clear existing alerts, that means being able to come in here and actually clear the alerts inside of here. And then the clear after default 30 days, that is in the alert. So if I open up an alert, this checkbox is check clear, clear alert automatically. That's what that's referring to. So by default, it will clear automatically after 30 days when the alert is initially sent to your user. But you can raise it up to a year or 365 days for those alerts to stay in there before they're automatically cleared out by the system. Okay. Now back up on the user information tab, this is where you, the admin, will add your users. Active and inactive, it basically means what it means. Let's say I go out of town for a week or so and I'm known to drink margaritas and you don't want me working in Zenly. You as the admin, you can make me inactive. When I try to log into Zenly, it will tell me I need to get with my admin because I don't have access. When I get back in town and you're ready for me to work, we can make me active and I'll have access to my account. Okay. Now the contact information, this is of course what the admin would enter in for you. This is what I showed you under the user profile. So again, same thing with the opting in to texting for your password resets. Now, this section here is where the admin is going to start granting access rights to Zenly and the interview configuration portal where the online application is set up. Okay. So first access rights we have are for loan access. By default, your LOs will be able to create new loans. Deleting loans or deleting any existing loans will be the choice of you, the admin. You can also set loan access to where the LO can see all LO's loans and edit all LO's loans. They can see all LO's loans, but not be able to edit and make any changes, or they can see their loans only and edit their loans only. Okay, so those are going to be the access rights to loan access. The document management access is going to be referring to the document exchange that we have with inside of a loan file. By default, they're going to be able to upload documents, custom forms, state-specific forms, and send out e-disclosures. Of course, deleting documents will be up to the admin. The directory access, I think I kind of skipped that. So that's under our template tab, and I'm sorry about that. We do have a directory tab. This is where you're able to bulk import context into Zenly. Okay, so you can add context in one at a time and type in the information and save them to the screen. But let's say that you want to bulk export context out of your CardX inside a Point, or bulk export context out of your Outlook. We do have KB articles for that. And the directory, and if I click on the second icon, allows you to use our sample.csv Excel form, or spreadsheet, I should say. This is what you're going to use. Let me drag this over. This is what you're going to be using to copy those contacts from your CardX or your Outlook. And this is the Excel that you'll want to use to be able to bulk import them into Zenly. Now I've already created one, so I'm going to go to this choose file option, and I'm going to select the .csv file where I have bulk exported my contacts out of Outlook. And now I'm going to hit import. And once I hit import, as you can see, that has bulk imported multiple contacts and saved me about 45 minutes of having to manually type all these contacts in one at a time. Okay, so that's what the directory is. I do want to go back to our users tab, to our new users button, and the directory access is referring to what we just did. So you can give edit access rights, meaning that this user will be able to add contacts to your directory or delete contacts from your directory, or they can have read-only access rights. They'll be able to use those contacts, but not be able to edit and make any changes. Okay. The menu loan access. Just take a look at the verbiage status all the way down to settings. I am going to jump into a loan file just real quick, just for a point of reference. So the access rights that we're getting ready to talk about are going to be the tabs up here at the top. So we're inside of a loan file right now. That's where you're going to see these tabs, status, all the way down to settings. Okay. So if I click back on our users tab after our wheel stops spinning. Okay. Go back to new users. Okay, that's going to be these access rights. So these are the tabs. So status and application, they're going to have the same access rights, which is edit and read only. We know what that means. Processing all the way down to settings, they're going to have an additional access right, which is going to be the no access. Okay, if you set any of these tabs to no access, that tab will not be visible to your user inside of Zenly. They won't see it, or any of the sub tabs underneath it. Okay, so no access means no access to that tab or any sub tabs beneath that tab. Okay. The user profile, this is referring to the user profile icon here that we talked about. Edit access is what I currently have now, which allows me to click on my user profile and type in my individual level credentials, go to the interview configuration, the help, etc. I'm sorry, that was the wrong one. The other access right is the read only. This means that I'm still able to click on my different tabs, but I can't edit and make any changes. I can't add my individual level credentials for credit and Fannie Mae. And then no access means that I just won't have access to the user profile icon at all. Okay. Administrator access. These are currently defaulted to no access. It is for a reason. If you give a user administrator access or edit administrator access, this LO will be able to assign themselves to another LO's loan file, make changes and edits, and also make themselves the loan originator on that loan file. That LO also will have the ability to add other LOs to other LOs loan files with edit capabilities where they can make changes and make themselves a loan originator on that loan file. So this is always set to no access. This will be determined by the admin if you want to grant that ability to someone. The template access. This defaulted to no access. This is the template tab that we talked about, where all the company level templates and defaults are set up. No access means that your LOs will not be able to go in here and mess up any of the templates or defaults that you set up. Same thing with the read only. They'll be able to go in there and see and use the templates that you've created, but not be able to edit and make any changes to any templates, forms, fees, etc. And of course, you have the edit, which will allow them to go in there and make changes to those tabs under the templates section. Okay. Then I'm sorry, right above that, the interview portal. This is referring to the interview configuration or the online application. So the access rights for that is the site can be disabled for this user. Maybe they're a processor. They won't have a online application for a borrower to fill out. It can be company managed, means that the admin is going to run the application, is the one that's going to receive all the applications and disperse those out to the LOs he or she would like. Read only limited access. This means that the LOs will have their own LO landing page, be able to send out document requests, e-disclosures, have their own online application. They won't be able to do any customization of their LO landing pages. And then the last one, of course, is edit user configurable, which is everything that I just stated above, with the addition of the LOs being able to edit their LO landing pages. And when I say edit their LO landing pages, that means adding their headshot to their LO landing page, adding their own mission statements, welcome message, videos, images, pictures, links, so forth and so on. Okay. Then once you've given those access rights to Zenly and or the interview configuration, down here at the bottom, you're going to list the state or states that this individual is licensed to work in, and then you will hit save. Once you hit save, that user is automatically going to appear here on this list, and that is how you add a user to Zenly and or the interview configuration or the online application. Okay. Now, right next to users, we have our reports tab. Currently, we have 4 reports inside of Zenly. That's going to be our active pipeline report, lender report, new prospect report, and our close report. Each of these reports generate in the same way and filter in the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our active pipeline report. Okay. So you can generate the report based off the status of the loan file you want to generate. You can choose a date range. You can also choose an individual LO that you just want to generate from only. I'm the only user inside of my Zenly, so I'm actually just going to come over here and click generate. Okay, so it's going to pull a little, pull your report here. You are able, excuse me, to export this report to Excel, and that's what the export to CSV is. So I click on my export to CSV, it automatically downloads into Excel. And then as you can see, your reports move to Excel, and you can come in here and add pie charts to make it look pretty or whatever you do with it in Excel. Okay. But that's going to work as far as the filtering and exporting to Excel. All 4 of our reports currently are going to do the same thing as far as that. And we will continue to add reports to this section as our releases continue throughout 2024. Okay. So now we are over to our leads and loans section, or it took us back to our home screen. Okay. But I actually want to talk about the leads first. So what I'm going to do is click on my filter icon and click on the leads so I can just see those only. And again, the leads are going to be the Wi-Fi symbol and blue text. So let me go ahead and open up one of my leads. So leads were added to Zenly. This is a great tool for you guys to use to collect data from a prospective borrower before they want to go ahead and initiate the loan. Okay, so this is the status tab inside of a lead file. So we've got this screen for you. You're able to make statuses for your lead files. You're able to come in and add conversation logs to your lead file. You're able to request documents and attach documents to your lead file. One of the most important things that we have inside of a lead is the lead invite option. Okay, for the lead invite option, this allows you to send a lead invite via text or email to your prospective borrower. This is going to include a link for the online application. When that borrower submits or finishes that online application, it will automatically pop back in on the lead side, and you will have that borrower's loan summary and loan information to be able to initiate into a loan. Okay. Excuse me. So down here, these sections, I should say, after address, loan information, note details, proposed housing expenses, primary housing expenses, income, liabilities, and other expenses. These sections were put in here for you guys to play with and get some qualifying ratios for your prospective borrowers. Those ratios would consist of housing expenses, debt to income, and total LTV. So you're able to come in here and play with all these numbers as much as you want to. It will not interfere with the answers or the information that the borrower put on the application. Okay. Now, next to status, we have our qualification tab underneath our leads file. This is where you're able to create a loan comparison. Okay, and that's only going to be on the lead side. So on my loan comparison tab, you see I've created different loan scenarios. So I've got conventional 30-year fixed, 15-year fixed, so forth and so on. If I wanted to create additional loan scenarios, I'll click on the add sign. Okay. And this is the first place inside of a lead file where you're able to import a loan program template and a fee template. So we've got the select here for our loan scenario. If I click that, it's going to show me a list of all of the loan scenario templates I've created. So I'm going to do my FHA 15-year fix. Okay. Then over here, we can import a fee template. So if I hit select, it's going to show me a list of my fee templates. I'm going to add my Quicken fee template into my scenario. You do want to come up here and name your scenario. Okay. And then you're going to come in here and start putting numbers in your scenario. I've got a 5% note rate. I'll leave it at that. Let me go ahead and put appraisal value and a sales price. One of the nice things I do like about Zenly is the auto calculator. So if you know the percentage that your borrower is going to put down, let's say 20%, it will auto calculate for you the down payment amount and the base loan amount. Okay. And then you can come in here and start playing with your PMI, rate adjustment. If I scroll back up to the top, you'll see that we're on loan or section number 1. If I hit next, that's going to take us to section number 2, which is our proposed housing expenses. So we can come in here and put numbers here and or percentages. If I hit next again, that's going to take us to section 3, the estimated closing cost. This allows you to edit the fee template that you imported in. So change fees, delete fees, add fees, so forth and so on. Once you've completed your scenario and you hit save, and the orange wheel stops spinning, you're then able to click back on the loan comparison tab, and then your additional scenario has been added. Okay. So you are able to compare up to 3 scenarios against each other. So let's say I want to compare my conventional 30 against my conventional 20 and then my FHA 30. Okay. So I've got my 3 selected. Up in the top right hand corner, it wants you to put in the number of months you want to compare. I'll leave it at 12 and I'll hit compare. Okay. So it does create my loan comparison. There's the breakdown of my conventional 30, my conventional 20, and my FHA 30. But on this screen, as you can see, there's no way to print this or to give it to a borrower. The way to do that is our next tab, Documents. And under the Documents tab, I'm going to spend some more time in this document section under a loan file. But what I will show you inside of here is under the storage section. This is where all of the forms that will be stored. So loan summary, this means that this borrower completed the lead invite and filled out the loan application and submitted it. So this loan summary is the loan application itself. It has all of the questions and answers that the borrower completed on the online application. We've either requested a government issued ID, or the borrower has sent us an issued ID and a W-2, and we've imported into the lead file. So those are currently the forms that we're seeing stored inside the lead file. Under generate, on the lead side, you're able to generate 2 things: the loan comparison, which is what we just created. So I clicked on loan comparison, it populated over here on the right. I can either store it and it'll move to the storage section, or I can preview it. If I preview it, this is how it is going to appear when you give it to a borrower. Okay, so we've still got the 3 breakdowns. We are working on getting the company logo to be added to the top of the loan comparison form. But down at the bottom, you will have your company name and your NMLS number, excuse me. And this is where you're able to save it as a PDF, download it, and then, of course, present it to your borrower. The other form that you're going to be able to generate from your lead side is the pre-approval letter. Okay, so I clicked on that one. We do a preview of that. This is the pre-approval letter that you can also download or save as a PDF to present to your borrower. Okay. Now, let's say you've been talking to this prospective borrower for 2 weeks now. They're ready to move on with the loan process. They've given you everything that they're going to give to you, and they're ready to initiate this lead into a loan file. We'll go back to our status tab. And then next to invite lead or lead invite, we have initiate loan. So I'm going to click on initiate loan. The first screen that we get, we have 2 options. If we leave it on file contact, this means that it's going to bring over all of the manually entered information that you, the LO or admin, typed in to the lead file. If the import from interview has this sheet of paper and it is not grayed out and you're able to click here, this means that the borrower completed the application and you want to bring over the borrower's application and not your manually entered information. Okay, so then we'll hit next. This is going to take us to document selection. So these documents are the documents that we just saw stored in the storage section. So it's asking, do we want to bring these documents with us into the loan? And the answer would be yes. So I want my loan summary, of course, government issued ID, and my W-2. We'll hit next to get to the summary section. This wants you to verify this is the borrower, and these are the forms that you want to bring over to create the loan. And my answer is yes. So I've clicked on create loan. What you're going to notice after it finishes here, it's automatically going to pop open on the loan side. And you'll know that because you're going to see those tabs that we saw when we're on the loans tab before. The other thing to note, the lead file does not automatically delete when you initiate the loan. That lead file will still be there. In the case of, let's say that you did not grab all of the forms that you needed later on in the loan process, you realized you needed the W-2 and it was still on your lead side, you can still go back over there and get the W-2 from your lead side, and then you'll delete the lead manually when you're ready to get rid of those lead files. Okay, so happened kind of quick, but the wheel's still spinning. But as you can see, we are now on the loans side of Zenly. So we're now inside of a loan file, okay? And it's brought over my borrower and my co-borrower into the loan file, okay? So first thing that we want to do when we initiate that lead into a loan file is we want to assign ourselves as the LO on the loan file. So I'm going to select my name in the loan originator drop down. And then I'm going to go back 1 tab when this wheel stops spinning so I can show you what that did. So I'm going to go back 1 tab to status. So first thing, under the tracking section, this is where you're able to change the status of your loan file. Okay, so if I click on the plus add sign, these are your different statuses for your loan files that you can choose. So if I wanted to change this from lead to prospect, I can do that. And it's been updated to the status of prospect. Down here are the alerts that are pertaining to this loan file only. So remember, the 12 is indicating all of your alerts throughout all of your lead and loan files combined. Here's where you can see the alerts that pertain to this particular loan file. So there's one alert that I've been assigned to this loan file. Okay, so you can clear your alerts from this screen as well, just like you could from your alert bell. And this is where you're able to add manually entered alerts. So if I click on the plus add sign here and I have the access rights, this is where you can come in and need closing docs and type in a manually created alert versus a system generated alert. You'll be able to set a due date and a time, assign it to another user, so forth and so on, if you have those access rights. Okay. I did want to come down to the contact section and show you that when I added myself as the loan originator under the application tab, it automatically added me as a loan originator under the contact tab, which is the most important. If you're not listed as the LO under here, when you try to do a document request or e-disclosure, you will get an error message. So me selecting myself in that drop down made it to where I didn't have to come in and manually type this information into each loan file. Okay, so just another time saver for you. Of course, You're going to find your conversation log. This works in the same way as any other conversation log. You will add your notes. It will date and timestamp it, and the next person that works the file will come to the conversation log to see what last took place. All right, back under the application tab, which is where we originally started off at when the lead initiated into a loan. When this orange wheel stops spinning, I want to show you how easy it is to add, merge, separate, and swap borrowers inside of a loan file. So currently we have a borrower and a co-borrower in this loan file. Up here at the top, we have a icon to add borrowers, edit borrowers, and delete borrowers. If I click on our add borrowers option, we have added an additional option. So you can add a blank borrower set and just type in the borrower, additional borrower manually into this loan file. But we also have the ability to import an existing lead file into a loan file. Okay, so let's say you had a non-occupying co-borrower that filled out their own application and they need to be merged into this one. We can do that now. So it's just asking me to search for the lead file that I want to import in, and I will. Okay, and this works in the same way. It's asking if you want to bring over just the file contact, or do you want to bring over the loan summary that this lead filled out. So I do. So I want to click on the import from interview and hit next. Again, it's asking the documents you want to bring over. I do want to bring over the loan summary, and then I will hit next. It's confirming this is the borrower and this is the document that you want to bring over to import into the existing loan file. And my answer is yes. All right. All right, so it just brought us back over to the loan side. It's still spinning and it's still loading our additional borrower that we just imported in. So you're going to be seeing a new name pop up here shortly. There we go. There's that lead that's been now initiated into a loan into this existing loan that we were working in. I'm just waiting for this to stop spinning so I can click. All right, perfect. All right, so we have currently right now we have 3 borrowers on this loan application. But let's say that Superman and Batman do not need to be on the same application. Okay, we've got them highlighted up here. This is when we can click on the edit borrower icon, and we're going to select the second option for separate borrowers. So I'm clicking separate borrowers. I'm doing a save and close. And as you can see, Superman and Batman are no longer on the same application. Okay. Let's say that we did that and Batman test should be the primary and not Superman. We'll click on Batman test. And then we're going to click and drag Batman test over Superman and release. And Batman now becomes the primary. Okay. Let's say that we separated Batman and Superman test because we need to merge Batman and Shannon together. Okay. Since we have Batman already highlighted, we can click on the edit borrower icon again. And this time it's going to ask me who we want to merge Batman test with. And I want to merge Batman test with Shannon. Okay, so I'm going to do save and close. Okay, and that has put Batman and Shannon on the same application. Okay, but let's say that Shannon should be the borrower, Batman should be the co-borrower. That's fine. We've already got them highlighted. We'll click on the edit borrower icon. And this time we're going to use the first option for swapping. So I'll do save and close. And as you can see, Shannon is now the borrower, Batman is now the co-borrower. Okay, so that's how easy it is to swap, merge, add, delete, separate borrowers inside of Zenly. Okay, now the borrower, loan, and subject property tabs, these are going to be the 3 tabs that the bulk, if not all of your loan information is entered into. Okay, so we're under the borrowers tab right now. We've added our borrowers. So now we can start adding the borrowers information. And again, the add sign is how you're going to populate each section. Okay. But on the borrowers tab, this is where you're going to be able to see the assets and bank accounts, the gifts and grants received. The liabilities will auto populate into a loan file when you run credit, child support and alimony, real estate, primary housing expenses, the declaration section. If we keep scrolling down past the declarations, we're also going to find the demographic section as well, all under the borrowers tab still, all the way down to identifying documentation. Okay. If we go over to our loan tab, okay, Of course, on our loan tab, it's going to be everything pertaining to the loan. This is also the first place you can pull in a loan program into an actual loan file. So if I click on select, we'll get the list of loan programs that I could import into this loan file. And I didn't mean to click that. All right, there we go. All right, so here you're going to go ahead and put in your loan information, your note details. This works, and the calculator works in the same way as it did on the lead side. You've got your rental income for your subject property. This calculator will auto-calculate the net rent for you. This is also the first place you're going to see the ratios inside of Zenly. This is where you're going to enter your PMI, your rate adjustment, your payment adjustment, buy down mortgage, loan features, and this is where you'll find your payment schedule as well under the loans tab. Okay. And then for the subject property, of course, it's going to be everything pertaining to your subject property. So subject property address, your property information, proposed housing expenses, subordinate financing, if that applies for you guys that are doing second mortgages, and then whose name is going to be held on the title. Okay. So again, once you've completed these 3 tabs, you have completed the bulk of your loan entry. So right underneath that, we've got our initial fees worksheet. So this is the real fees worksheet inside of a loan file. Okay. And of course, I want to show you, this is a blank fees worksheet. If I want to import one of my fee templates, we'll click on select up here at the top. And let's say I want to bring in my Quicken template. I'll select that one and hit OK. And as you can see, my template has populated my empty template or fee worksheet. And again, these are just default. So if you needed to change fees, add fees, delete fees, you're still able to do that with inside of the loan file. Okay. Next, we've got our estimated cash to close. Of course, this is where you're going to identify your standard or alternative for your purchase and refinances. And then we've got your loan estimate. Oops. Your loan estimate. Okay, and of course your loan estimate, you got your application date. This is where you're going to find your rate lock expiration date. Also, I'm sorry guys, underneath the loan file, or inside of a loan file I should say, you're going to have a save button and also an export button on every single screen when you're inside of a loan. This just allows you to export the file to a 3.4 MISMO file and save it to your desktop or folder to import it into your lender's portal whenever you're ready to do that. Okay. We also have the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac addendums, as well as our anti-steering screen. And then the escrow account, this is where you're going to be calculating your aggregate payment or your aggregate adjustment. Okay. So of course we do need a first payment date to calculate our aggregate adjustment. So let me just select one. Okay. And then if I hit calculate, these are currently the fees that I have escrowed in section G in my fees worksheet that I pulled in with my template. And I've defaulted the cushion and months of disbursement for these taxes and insurances. So that's why they're pulling in automatically for me. Again, these are default. So if I need to change my cushion or months of disbursement, I can change them before I actually calculate to get my aggregate adjustment. Okay, so I did want to show you where that is entered or that template plays a role. And then underneath that, we've got our initial ARM disclosures if you are doing ARM loans. And then our HOPA counseling list, of course, if your borrowers have completed the education and counseling courses. Okay. Now, the next 3 tabs I'm just going to tell you about because I do want to spend a little time on the documents tab. But for our processing tab, this is going to give the ability to create requests and verifications, tax return requests, and verifications inside the system to be able to send out. We've also recently added the title commitment request form, and this screen is used to add information to that title request form that's able to be generated out of Zenly now. Okay. Our underwriting tab. This is going to give an underwriter the ability to input their data as well as add underwriting conditions to a file for data collection. So I do like to emphasize data collection. The underwriting conditions, they do not feed back into the actual loan file currently at this time. It is for the underwriter's view only. Okay. The underwriting tab is also the second place where you can find the ratios for your loan file. Okay. Our next tab is our reporting tab. And under our reporting tab, you're going to be able to find our Mortgage Call Report 2024 screen and our HMDA screen. Mortgage Call Reporting and HMDA Reporting are not currently available inside of Zenly right now. So These screens, again, are for data collection for your mortgage call report and for HMDA, not for reporting. Okay. Now, the Documents tab. Okay. And let me let this pull over. Okay, so we're on the Documents tab inside of a loan file. We're in the storage section. So what we're seeing currently right now are all of the documents that we brought over from our lead files. So we should have 2 loan summaries from our 2 different leads, and we've got the government issued ID and the 1099. Okay, so that's the first thing that you're going to see in the storage section are any forms that are stored. The second thing that you're able to do on the storage section is upload custom or state-specific forms. So if I click on this upload icon, it's going to pull up this box. It wants me to name my custom form. I'm just going to name it custom form. It wants me to tell the borrower that tell the custom form. I'm sorry, tell Zenly who this custom form is for. What borrower? Excuse me. It's going to be for Superman test. It wants me to select a category, and then I can choose my custom form. So I'm going to say this is my custom form, and I want to store my custom form in this loan file. And the progress bar goes by fast. Okay, then we're going to hit close, and then we should have a new section inside of our stored section called all other documents, and we've got a Superman test custom form stored. Okay, so that's number 1. Custom forms or state specific forms can be imported into Zenly. Let's go down to generate. Okay, so generate, this is how excuse me, I was showing you guys this when we were talking about the document packages, and I said I would show you this in another section. This is that section. Okay, so if I click on, so first of all, for generate, we're generating documents or forms that have the borrower's information already printed on them. Okay, so under this first drop down, if I select application, this is going to give me a list of forms pertaining to the application. So of course I'll find things like the actual loan application or the loan estimate. And I'm actually clicking on these forms as I'm telling you. And when I click on them, they're appearing over here on the right-hand side, waiting for me to store or preview. If I change it to processing in this drop down, it's going to give me a list of forms pertaining to processing. So I can choose forms like my 4506C or my consumer choice disclosure. If I change it to underwriting, this is going to be my underwriting form. So we've got our notice of action taken and transmittal summary. Okay. So as you can see, I've clicked on all of these forms because I want to store them for my borrowers, Shannon and Batman. So I'm going to go ahead and click store. It's going to ask if I want to name this package. I will today. It is 4/2 of 24. I'm going to hit set. And what we're looking for are these documents to disappear on the right. And that lets me know that they've been moved over to my storage section. Okay, so those documents disappeared. If I click on stored, we should have a new section with the package name that I gave it, which was test for 224. And these are all the documents that I generated for my 2 borrowers. Okay, so that's your generate. Request. This is when it's time to request documents or forms from our borrowers. So when I click on request, we're going to come and click on the add sign here. Okay. And then of course it wants you to click this drop down and choose the documents that you want to request. So let's say I want to request bank statements, and I want to request them from my borrower Superman test. We can give it a category. You can also give it a due date and a memo. I'm going to do a save and close because this is the only document I want to request at this time. All right. So now it's pending, and it's pending me sending the document. So let me go ahead and hit send. It wants to verify the borrower again that you want to send this to. It'll auto-populate their email address, and I don't like that email address. Hold on 1 second, guys. I actually want this to work. Hold on. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do this. Sorry about that, guys. Just need to make a quick email address change. All right. So let me come to my Superman test borrower. We're going to just come down here and just edit this real quick. And save. All right. Back to my documents tab. We're going to go back to requesting. Okay. I'm going to click back on my add. Oh, don't need to do that. So it's still here waiting on me. Thank you. So now I want to send this request off. Again, it's asking me to confirm my borrower, and that borrower's email should automatically pop up. That's the email I want. And now I'm going to hit send. And once it's sent, still says pending, but the send button does go away. So you do know that it has been sent to your borrower. And then I would like to pull up the email notification that the borrower just received. Hopefully it comes in here fast. Okay. Might be a little sluggish today. So while we're waiting on the email, let me just let you know that well, we're going to have to upload it first. Let me see if it went to my junk. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. Just moving a little slow. All right, let me drag this over. So this is the email that the borrower just received to upload the document. Okay, so borrower just received this to upload their bank statements. Borrower's going to click on upload documents. This is going to take the borrower to a secure web page. And here they're going to see that they need to upload their bank statements. So on the device that they're on, they're going to click upload so they can browse for their bank statements. Okay, so I have a bank statement here. Borrower's going to select that bank statement, click upload. And once they click upload, they're then going to click OK. And as you can see, that item is moved from their to-do list. They are good to go. Okay. Now, the LO just received an email notification letting them know that the borrower just uploaded the bank statements. So this tells the LO that they need to go back to Zenly. If they happen to be on that request tab, they just need to click off and go to another tab and then come back to the request tab. And they should see that document sitting there waiting to be accepted or rejected. Okay, so here are our bank statements. So you can preview the document. If it's blurry or it's the wrong form, you can reject it. And in that rejection, you can give the rejection reason and resend the request for the borrower to upload a clear or the actual correct version of the form. Okay. If you preview and it is the form that you need, you can accept it. And this form will be stored in your document exchange. Okay. So once it's been stored, it will let you know that it's been complete. And now we can move on to e-signing. Okay. So I'll click on our e-sign tab. Up at the top, we have request e-signatures. So when I click on that, it wants us to choose the borrower that's going to be e-signing. We do have a custom signers, for example, if you have a power of attorney. But I'm going to let Superman sign his own forms today. So I'm going to click next. And this is the select document section. So this works in the same way as the generating does. So if I click on application, I could select, go through the different forms that I want the borrower to fill out. And I do want to select this borrower signature authorization. Okay. Same thing with the processing and underwriting. But this is also where if you wanted to select one of your print groups or document packages to be e-signed, you could select that print group. And of course, all the forms encompassed in that print group will be on this list on the right and be ready to send out to be e-signed. Okay. But I don't want to do a full disclosure package. Now, currently, how we're able to see this drop down that we're currently selecting the forms from right now is because we're on this printer icon. If I click on the PDF icon, this is going to show any custom form that you uploaded in the system for this particular borrower. So if I wanted that custom form to be sent out and e-signed, I could select that custom form as well. Okay. But let's just say for this example, I do want just the borrower's signature authorization to be e-signed. I'm going to hit next. Okay. All of the Zenly forms already have places for the borrowers to e-sign, so we can hit next. This wants us to name the package, so I'm just going to do this one again, test 4.2, and it is 24. Okay. And of course, you can set your due date, and we're going to go ahead and hit request. this screen can trick you a little bit because the little orange wheel goes away, but it's still spinning and thinking. All right, so it is finished as far as it's sent the request out. That's why you have resend email instead of request, and it's pending. It is pending the signature of the bar that it was sent to. So let's see if this email comes in a little bit faster for me over here, because I do want to take you through the e-signing process on from the bar's perspective. And my emails are just moving a little slow today. While the email is coming in, so I don't hold it up, I'll jump back to the email as soon as it pops up. Let me move over to our services tab. Under our services tab, this is where you're going to be running your interfaces: credit, desktop originator, and loan product advisor. So we're currently on our credit reporting tab. Simple. You're going to select the borrowers that you want to run the credit report on. Select your credit agency. You're going to select your request action type. So if you're ordering a new report, you'll do new report. Reissuing an existing report, you can do that as well. And then for your report type, it will be credit report. And that's when these buttons become on grade. You hit submit. You'll get a copy of your credit report that will automatically store in the storage section of the document exchange. You'll be able to view that from here as well. Any credit alerts you'll be able to view. And then there'll be an icon under your import liabilities that will auto-populate the liabilities into your loan file. Okay. For desktop originator, you do want to be sure for your underwriting dropdown that you do select the credit and underwriting option. Select your submission. I don't have credentials for Fannie or Freddie. And then you'll select your lender, hit submit. You'll get a copy of that same credit report, and your findings, of course, will be visible here and stored in your document exchange. Okay. Loan product advisor is going to be the same thing as far as your transaction request type. You do want to do underwriting and credit. You'll select your case state, your submitting role. You'll hit submit. You'll get another copy of that credit report, a document checklist, and any feedback from your runnings. Okay. And the the MME, Mortgage Market Exchange, this has been added. But if we click on the the MME button, this is going to show you the 4 lenders that we're currently integrated with, or that Zenly is currently integrated with. So if you are integrated with any of these lenders on the screen, you do not have to use that export option to export your file to the 3.4 and then manually upload it to the lender's website. If you work with UWM, you can click on the UWM icon. You're going to put in your credentials for UWM. That will take you straight into the UWM portal so you can get that application over to UWM without leaving Zenly, okay, as well as the other 3 lenders that we have in here. And we will continue to keep adding lenders to our MME as the rollouts continue. Well, that was perfect timing because my email just came in for my e-sign. So this is the email that the borrower just received to e-sign their disclosure. So the borrower is going to click on the e-sign documents. Again, it's going to take them to a secure page. This time it's saying, instead of saying upload, it's asking them to sign. What you're currently seeing right now is the last 4 digits of the borrower's cell phone number or mine, because the borrower was just sent a 6-digit code so they can log in. All right. After logging in, the borrower is going to be presented with the automatic e-consent. So the borrower has to agree and accept the terms of the e-consent before they can e-sign the actual disclosure. Okay. So this happens to be one form, but let's say it was multiple pages. The borrower has 2 options. They can hit next and go through all the pages, or click on the required actions taken, which will take them to the page that requires a signature. They'll click sign. If that is the only signature, they'll click confirm. And the borrower can download the document and review the document for their records, but they are done. Okay. We're not going to wait on the email that the LO received. We're going to pretend that the LO just received an email from the borrower, letting him know that the borrower has e-signed that disclosure. So back in Zenly, we'll go back to our documents tab. And if I go to our e-sign tab, as you can see, our disclosure package is no longer pending. It is now completed. Okay. And then, of course, we can view that package with the information filled out on it. Okay. And that wasn't too bad of timing because this is the email that the LO received that the bar completed the e-signing of their e-disclosure package. Okay. All right. Um, we talked about our services, and I will take us back to our home screen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude my Zenly orientation. I am going to take you guys off of mute, which should allow you to unmute yourselves if you have any questions that have not been answered. So you guys should have the ability to unmute yourselves now.